Hi, I'm Dave, and if you're new to this channel, welcome to episode 4 of my lap around Australia. I thought I'd start this video with a preview map of my journey so far, beginning on the 1st of November 2025 until now, and then into more free and budget campsites in the East Gippsland area in Victoria. So my travels to date is staying here in the Sunshine Coast. I travelled down the coast into Yamba, which is in New South Wales. Then it was across New South Wales into the Guida River. I camped there for 3 nights. Then down to Blowering Dam, past Chaffrey Dam. And that was a couple of nights there. Then it was cutting across into Gloucester and down to Sydney that way. Then it was down to the Kangaroo Valley. Stayed there 2 nights with my son. Then it was all the way down to the Victorian border at Tom Grogan campsite. Then across to Bega from the Sapphire Coast. Then it was down to Eden, just south of Eden actually, just short of the border, a place called Newton's Crossing. Then last night it was down across the border into Genoa. And I'm just outside a town called Malakuta in Victoria. Okay, we're coming up to Newton's Crossing camping area, which is in the Yambula State Forest. It's about 35 minutes outside of Eden, which is of course a south coastal town in New South Wales. If you haven't been to Eden, I would recommend it. It's a beautiful town, good feel, and there's water everywhere. This campground is fairly small. It only has 6 campsites in here. It has a day use area as well, which is on the right hand side as we go in, and the camping area is on the left hand side. There's a drop toilet here, which is very clean. There is no reception here, but there is, as you head towards Eden, about 15 minutes from this site you'll be able to get mobile reception. This little day area in here, if you look on some websites, this has been reported to have a fairly steep entry, not looking like it's that steep. This is not suitable for caravans. It's quite small in here. This is sort of the descent here, which is really not a problem. I'm only in 2-wheel drive anyhow. It's on the river, which is about 20 metres down from the campsites. There's 2 sites up in here. There's a left and a right in here. As you can see, it's quite small and not really suitable for caravans. I can get my camper in here okay, but you'd have difficulty, I think, with a caravan. There's someone camped around the corner here, which is another small site in here. There's one to the left and there's one just down there, which seems to be the closest to the river at this point. As you can see, I've got to 3-point turn a car, not alone a trailer. So it is quite a tight squeeze in here. Just taking a walk down to the river. This is the track closest to my campsite. I did have a swim down here yesterday and it's quite pleasant. The creek here is certainly a little deeper than at 6 Mile and Tom Grogan. Probably about waist to shoulder high in places, and quite cool and refreshing. Bit of dark cloud coming in at the moment. I think we're expecting some rain here in the next couple of hours. This track opens up to a nice little river beach. This section here is probably only about 200 meters from the rocks up there, a small rapids, down to that area just down there. But certainly swimming in here is quite good, and probably to even get deeper in places as well. This is Quarantine Bay, which is only a few minutes outside of Eden. This seems to be the place where most of the water sports and activities occur. I plan to do a bit of kayaking here as well. The weather's been really great here in Eden. Just leaving Newton's Crossing after 4 nights here. Even though it's fairly close to Eden, it still has a very remote feel to it. Although it's not suited for caravans, very good for swagging, tents and small camper trailers. Well worth a visit. And Eden, of course, I've already said, is a beautiful town to visit. Just arriving at Genoa camping ground. This is a free camp about 40 minutes outside of Malakuta, which is a Victorian coastal town. It does say there's a maximum stay here of 36 hours on the sign at the front. If you go further in, it contradicts that and says it's actually 72 hours. So take your pick. The tennis courts here, which are locked, obviously for the local tennis players. There are toilets here. There are showers. There was 3 shower cubicles. 2 are now closed. So there's 1 cubicle left, and that's for cold showers only, if you're into that sort of thing. Not a good day today for a cold shower. It's quite a large campground. I think it's stated there was about 27 campsites in here, which looks about correct. It's nice and grassy, which is a change from camping on dirt. It's on a creek. I think it's the Genoa River, which is down to my right now. It's a bit of a walk down there and it's quite shallow. I'll be staying here for 2, maybe 3 nights, depending on which sign you want to obey. And tomorrow checking out Malakuta. Okay, so that's the campground. We'll do a little more exploring a little later on. Time to check out the creek or river. I think this is the Genoa River. It's quite steep down here and slippery when wet, so you need to be a little bit careful. Fortunately, with some tree branches you can hold on to. Go mate, how you going? Quite a large sandy area here. Or beach, if you like to call it a river beach, as I do. The campground itself is only just off the Princes Highway, probably only about 400 metres off the highway, so you do get a bit of traffic noise there. It appears it's dog friendly, on a leash of course. The creek is flowing water, but there's not a lot of water in here. You might get knee deep in places. But I think that's about it. Looks nice and clean and fresh. There are some resident roosters here. It's about 5 I've counted so far. They're all roosters, there's no hens here. They've been here since I've been here. and they sort of act like they own the place. You'd be forgiven if you called this campsite Rooster's campsite. Just do a quick walk around this campground. That's the sign at the front saying 36-hour stay. Toilet block is right in front of me there. If you look at this sign here, it says please note a maximum 72-hour stop. So take your pick. I think I'll take the 72 hours. This has a book fridge here. Every home should have one. There are disabled toilets as well. There may even be books in here. Ah yes, look at that. Got to get me one of those. It's a nice picturesque site. The creek's just down that way, down there. Just leaving Genoa RV Park after 3 days here. 3 very wet days. I've had a lot of rain, heavy winds. It hailed last night, but got some sunshine too. I now call this Roosters Campground because of the resident roosters that live here. But all in all, I think not a bad free camp. There is a donation box if you want to leave a small donation. Of course I did. And now moving closer into Victoria towards Melbourne and a place called Albust. Okay, just coming up to Shipwreck Creek Campground. This is in a national park, the Croajingolong National Park. You do need to book here. It's a free camp, but there will be a booking fee, and I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look that up. There are 2 drop toilets here. There's the day camping area to the right. No dogs or cats in here. There's campsites up to the left. The beach is probably only about 300 metres from here. Not sure if this is a campsite. Pretty much a dead end there. It's not very big, it's very bushy. It's a dirt road in, but it's in good condition. In fact, I can see where they've actually made some repairs to the road. So the local guys, national park guys, are doing their job. So 2-wheel drive is okay for in here. Couple of campsites up here to my left. It looks to be about 1, 2, 3. The beach access is down there straight in front of me, and we'll check that out. It's very leafy in here, quite secluded, a lot of trees, but quite small. I think that you'd struggle getting a caravan in here. No doubt you could do that, more suited to tent swags, small camper trails, etc. So that's it, a fairly small campground with probably 4 to 6 campsites. Fully aware you can squeeze in places sometimes and create more campsites. We'll just check out the beach. Access is 300 metres. If I haven't already mentioned, this is probably regarded as a fairly remote campsite, but it's an alternative to Genoa, and it's closer to Malakuta than Genoa, probably only by about 5 or 10 minutes. But the road in's quite okay, quite suitable for two-wheel drive. I've got a funny feeling that this is going to be quite spectacular. I can hear the waves from here. I can see glimpses of the ocean. This could be a very beautiful little spot to camp in, or to camp at, I should say. Starting to see a bit of ocean over there through the trees. Well, probably better if we wait till we get there, huh? Well, not to be disappointed, this is breathtaking. How good is this? You obviously can't camp down here, so you've got a 300-metre walk to the beach, but I would say it's well worth it. There's no one down here either, and there's this little sandbar in the middle, so there's a little tidal creek that runs here that you've got to walk across if you want to get to the beach, and you could probably swim in it as well. Oh, this is lovely. So far looking a better option than Genoa, except you've got to book it. Leaving Shipwreck Creek campground now. There is no reception here. I think when I looked it up it did mention there was 4G, but I did not get reception here. It's fairly remote, and it's closer to Malakuta than Genoa. I think I mentioned the road is quite good.